L&T Infotech IPO, which is all set to open on the 11th of July, the management has said that the IPO will be valued sharply cheaper than its listed peers, as it looks to raise over 1,200 crore rupees in the public issue. ET Now's Ashwin Mohan caught up with L&T Infotech's management ahead of the IPO. Here's an excerpt of that conversation.
Mr. Naik, a big day, a much-awaited listing of L&T Infotech. L&T Infotech currently ranks 6th in the pecking order in the Indian IT industry when it comes to export revenue. What's the next milestone that you're expecting from this baby that is going to hit the bourses soon?
Well, it's not baby anymore. It has become teenager and ready to go. And we thought that it has reached to on the eve of maturity, which will be hastened if we now leave them alone. So it's like a child going to college and then the parent says, "Bhai, let him be having his own way to come up in life." So that's what we are doing. And I think it is very well poised for that. So I don't think our milestone will be judged in how big we are, but our milestone will be to judge how good we are. And we intend to be one of the best, if not the best. Sanjay, of course, our aim is always to be the best.
Of course, all right. Sanjay, what are your immediate priorities as you're leading the ship over here? Mr. Naik has made his preliminary comments. What are your immediate priorities post the listing?
You know, I think we are very well supported by by L&T Group, and a lot of inspiration comes from the chairman himself. But the first priority for us is to create a name for ourselves at the convergence of physical and digital world. Nobody understands the physical world the way we understand. It's not going to be replacing physical world with the digital world. So at the convergence of physical and digital, providing both IT and OT services, that's a singular area of differentiation that we want to really harness and create for ourselves. The first priority for us is to look at 250 odd customers that we have. There's a tremendous potential for us there, and we want to just go after that and mine those customers very, very effectively.
Sanjay, you spoke about the pot of gold earlier when it comes to the big pool of customers that you already have. But on the flip side, some market analysts seem to be of the opinion that there seems to be perhaps a little bit of an over-dependence on a certain segment of clients. And in fact, correct me if I'm wrong, 68% of your revenues are from North America. So therefore, in the event of any global uncertainties, there is a huge risk factor over there. How do you plan to cushion yourself against that?
So we have 68% coming from North America, we have 18%, 17.5% coming from Europe, and rest comes from the emerging markets. I think in the foreseeable future for the industry and for us as well, the North America and Europe will continue to be the focus areas. We are very strong in the Nordics area, we are very strong in the France area. UK and Germany are two areas that we are, and Switzerland are areas that we are looking at strongly to invest in. Middle East, we have inherent advantage by virtue of the parent doing a lot of businesses there, so we are looking at that area. But in the foreseeable future, let me again reiterate, US and Europe will continue to be the important markets for us.
Mr. Naik,
now let me
add to
that.
Please go ahead,
Let me
sir.
add to that. Like we restructured and added tremendous amount of talent in US, which has made it possible over the decades. Of course, apart from that, the maximum outsourcing philosophically and actually take place from US and North America. In Europe, unfortunately, there are many countries which are more productive, and therefore the outsourcing is not at the same scale. But we are now, I just returned from Europe last night, and I have no doubt in my mind that Europe has a huge potential for a company like Larsen & Toubro, because most of the L&T Connect is in Europe, more than in America. So we are strengthening our team, and in maybe 3 months' time, it will be very, very considerably strengthened from top level and middle level. And that, in my opinion, will increase the 17% market share of the Europe in L&T Infotech, perhaps to go to 25%. And to that extent, US may become more like 65, 64, something like that.
All right. Mr. Raman, would you like to add to that? What are some of the synergies that the parent expects from this listing that has been in the works for quite a while now?
See, I think the way the parent looks at it is a very exciting time for the parent, as you know, is on a journey to improve its return on equity. This is one of the businesses which, apart from cushioning the volatility of the project earnings, also provides tremendously attractive return on equity. So it's an area to invest in, and the way the parent is today looking at it is an opportunity for us to participate in the growth journey of Infotech, along with the larger stake of shareholders. We are entering a phase where I think the group will benefit by the growth of Infotech.
Mr. Naik, one question on the shift. Now that L&T Infotech is slated to be listed, in the past, of course, there's been tremendous support from the parent when it comes to client referrals, when it comes to hiring, retaining employees. So how does the leadership structure change per se post the listing? Could you throw some light on that front?
Well, the leadership structure that the company will run on its own autonomously, completely decentralized operationally, and L&T will act like any other supportive shareholder. Obviously, being a very dominantly majority held, it will have much more responsibility to continue to help them. But other than that, what they want to do in terms of operational requirement, in terms of HR policies, in terms of how to position itself with respect to its industry peers, all of that will be done by a newly listed company on its own.
Sanjay, what are your immediate priorities when it comes to the growth driver so that you can beat the industry estimates? I know you've been clocking a healthy CAGR rate for the last 3 years. How do you plan to exceed that?
So there are 2-3 things that I talked about. The first thing is the pot of gold. We have 250 plus customers. Second is opening new venues and focusing on solutions that we bring to the marketplace. We added 8 new Fortune 500 customers and 26 net new logos. So we want to continue on that journey. We launched 3 new service lines in the last quarter, and we want to continue launching new service lines. There are many things that we are doing that we have not talked because we are not a listed company. We have that opportunity now to talk about really remarkable benefits that we have brought on to the customers, and that is the journey that we want to do. So stick to basics. There is plenty of great things within the company, and I think we will flourish.
I'll leave the last word to Mr. Naik. Mr. Naik, you have a soft corner for the IT sector, and that's an open secret.
Not sector, my IT company.
IT company, yes. So in the past, you of course have expressed interest in buying out a few companies. Some of them have been unsuccessful. Now, you have a baby from the L&T stable going and getting listed. So is this perhaps the first step in your vision of creating an IT bellwether, which forms part of the L&T stable?
I mentioned that L&T Infotech services sector. L&T Group largely is a manufacturing, project and services. And I named 4 companies what we consider as a cluster of services company. L&T Finance, L&T Infotech, L&T Technology Service, L&T Reality. L&T Reality till our own land exists because the risk is very little and it's a steady income. I also mentioned that project is a very risky business. If you don't do 1 project or 2 projects well, you can easily go in red. So the services sector will be a big cushion to overall L&T portfolio management. Obviously, therefore, the L&T group management will have to support all the services companies to a great degree to the extent it requires help, so as to be able to have the whole group grow with a proper risk balancing. So I think that is really primarily the L&T strategy, that it has no choice, I would say, but to support L&T Infotech and other services company. And we'll keep doing that.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.